the 19th, 20th, and 21st. You crochet the round basically the same, only that you always stretch one more square at the beginning, then accordingly have two fewer squares in the middle, so in the 19th. 10th, 8 in the 20th, and 6 in the 21st squares, then crochet new post. So that your smiley similar to here, there we only had a taller one, so more often the same stitches. Basically, a little box always shifts one space inward. After the 21st round, I'll show you how you can kind of finish off the work at the bottom. Until then, have fun. So, your smiley is almost finished. We're now knitting it after 2 rounds. You start the 21st round by crocheting 5 squares. So, after the 5 squares, you're now basically shifted 1 square inward here again. You crochet 30 double crochets. That means you crochet double crochets until you've kind of shifted 1 square inward again on this side so that it goes up evenly here. Like I said, 30 double crochets, then close the round with squares as usual. You're now at the last round of your smiley pattern and are now crocheting 7 little squares. After you've crocheted these 7 little squares, crochet 18 double crochet stitches. Like I said, 7 squares, 18 double crochets. It kind of looks like this. I'll show you. Here you've got the row of your last double crochets. So we're now going through these 7 squares here, 2 squares inward. And the 18 double crochets also end 2 squares further forward. So you have another bar up here, like the one you already have down here. Once you've done that, 7 squares, 18 double crochets, keep crocheting your squares until your work reaches a total height of 30 centimeters. After that, we'll start with the single crochet stitches. Have fun until then. If you have reached a height of 30 centimeters, should look roughly like this. From now on, you knit 4 centimeters only single crochet stitches. I'll start on the back, so the transition here isn't so visible. That means put a single crochet into each stitch. Do it like this, no yarn over, just insert. Pick up the yarn, pull it through the stitch. Two threads on the needle, yarn over, 1 firm stitch knitted. Start here to pick up. It's never quite easy if you crochet fairly tightly, like I do. Single crochet stitches, one after another. Like I said, keep doing that until you reach a height of 4 centimeters. Your work should now look something like this. Now you start with the handles. It always depends on how long you want to make your handles. Mine are getting so long now that you can really wear it well on the shoulder. I've marked it here with a stitch marker to show roughly how wide I want them and at what height. I'd recommend that to you. I'll just tell you my height now. So now, first you knit 13 chain stitches from the start of your round, like normal. So, past my first marker, there I tried out how wide I wanted my straps to be, so I've got about 3 centimeters of width. That's of course completely up to you. Also how sturdy you want your bag to be, and Now, like I said, I want mine a bit longer, which means I'm going to crochet 135 chain stitches now. Just one chain stitch after another, 135 of them, so I'll then attach them here at the other inner end of my round. I've now got basically 36 stitches here in between that we'll then leave free. If you've crocheted the 135 stitches or reached whatever length you want your straps to be, we'll meet again and I'll show you what to do next. So I've now knitted the 135 chain stitches. Now go 36 stitches along, or I just marked it again beforehand with a stitch marker. Insert here and knit a single crochet. You've already attached your strap. After that, you continue knitting the round as normal. And of course, you also have to do it on the back of your bag. I just did it like that. I have again from our rounds. I have here just the Place the little squares on top of each other, then attach the stitch markers in exactly the same spot. You can of course count, but with so many stitches, I just find it much easier that you lay them neatly on top of each other, mark the stitches, then you just continue knitting your single crochet stitches here. Chain 135 stitches again up to the back and knit the single crochet stitches again. I'll show you in a moment how the first row then begins with your chain stitches. Until then, I wish you lots of fun. From now on, you always crochet single crochets and also along your straps. That means these stitches here between the straps are kind of put on hold and we just crochet along here. That means you always insert into your chain stitch, which can be a bit tight sometimes if you crochet pretty tightly like I do. And crochets a single crochet. Now do that along the 135 chain stitches. Always crochet tight, single crochet stitches, and then you repeat the whole thing. That's what it looks like. It also becomes nice and stable here, round after round until you're about as you like. You have reached a width of your straps of about 3 centimeters. Then I'll show you how you can finish the work. When you've reached the required width of your handles, that is, the width you want, you can cut the yarn. Leave enough for weaving in, and then just slide the stitch along. Then you sew the whole thing up. Like I'm showing you now how to sew in your yarn ends. You then do that for every single yarn end that's still left at the end. And you insert into the stitch after the next from top to bottom, so you don't see the transition as much. There will be one fewer stitch here in a moment. You stick into your original stitch and can now just sew in the work down here. Then you won't see the transition so much anymore. Now you've got two options. Either you're pretty much done, or you reinforce your work at the bottom a bit more. I'll reinforce the whole piece again along the bottom with single crochet stitches, because I also want to carry drink bottles or something in the bag, for example. I also think it's really nice when you basically have the same at the top and bottom. That means I pick up stitches at the bottom again, and then work single crochet stitches in the round before I finally sew it up. If you don't want to do that, that's no problem, then you just fast forward. I'll show you again at the end, of course, how to sew them together at the bottom. And that, of course, works exactly the same right now as when you use single crochet stitches. You don't need the needle now. You go back to the beginning of your work again. Just stick into the stitches. Grab your yarn. The first chain stitch, so to speak, go into the next. Pick up the yarn again. And you've knit your first single crochet stitch. Then you just go stitch by stitch, round by round, around your work to reinforce it further. You always finish the work here, as at the beginning, with a slip stitch. To clarify, I'll quickly show the slip stitch. Go into the next stitch. Pull the yarn through here, then, without picking up the yarn again, go straight through the stitch, and that way you've crocheted a slip stitch. Otherwise, like I said, if you want round after round of single crochet stitches to reinforce the bag. And I'll crochet about 3 centimeters. I thought, when you're ready, you can still watch how the bag is finished. So your work should now look something like this. We're going to start sewing the whole thing up now. So, you turn your bag around once, leave the crochet hook here with the yarn, now you've turned it over once, and now we'll crochet our bag together. This is how it goes. You make sure you always place your stitches exactly on top of each other here, and now always insert through both stitches like this. Then grab the yarn and make a single crochet. Work all the way around now. Really look at whatever is exactly opposite. Always go through both stitches so you'll have a stable seam at the bottom. After all, the bag should be able to take a bit. Now do that all the way around. Then cut your yarn and weave in all the remaining ends the way I showed you on the handles. I'll show you then, as soon as I'm done, right away, what the bag looks like when it's finished. So your smiley bag is now finished. I hope you had fun crocheting. If you liked my video, I'd appreciate a free subscription. That way you won't miss any of my new videos. Until then, I wish you lots of fun knitting and crocheting.